Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Hazbot, and welcome to another speed painting. Yes, I almost said a different thing. So anyway, this one took a long while, and I had the idea of just drawing robots in my sketchbook, and I thought to myself, wait a minute, what if everything was robots? What if the HAZBIN crew were robots? Because they're not, and they should be. I should explain, right now I just woke up. My coffee is the temperature of the sun, so I can't have it yet. And so I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment. What, me? Scatterbrained? Unable to think correctly? No! Such thing is a myth of legend and has never existed in real life at all. Haha. But, yeah, this took a long while for me to do. This took I started this project on the 3rd, and I've only now finished it. And, why did it take so long? Well, the background kind of drove me insane because of neon colors, which I've never done, and all that. I mean, trying to draw a background is a very hard thing for me to do because I don't have a lot of practice at doing it. And here I am trying to do a very complex and almost surreal environment sort of thing. And much of the background is going to be blocked by the characters that I'm going to insert into it. I didn't realize that till later. But I know it's there. You will never know. Actually, you'll know. You'll know because you're seeing it on screen. What am I talking about? I'm insane. That was obvious from the beginning, quite you. So let's focus on the characters for the moment. Yes, starting from left to right, because that's how we read. Is Charlie? Yes, I wanted to go for these are all robot designs that I came up with as sketching. I didn't cartoon this at all. I should have, but Charlie right there, a little floating head I gave her. So that she can look around in any direction she wants at all times. And maybe her head. She can send her head off to do stuff while her body does other things. Get your mind out of the gutter. You ever see Adventures of Baron Munchausen? Same thing going on with Robin Williams. He had a detachable head that would float around, and when his head was detached, there was nothing but logic. But I don't think anything. There's not much in HAZBIN that is completely logical. That's by design. Speaking of which, I have a little transparent stomach right there full of, I don't know, fluids, various fluids, viscousnesses, and the light from the background and the fire going on. Everything's on fire in hell, because of course it is. And the light is shining through her stomach and giving this rainbow effect, and it's like, oh, inside of her is a rainbow sort of thing that, in hindsight, I should have done more shading around it, but I don't know if we're there yet in the actual speed drawing. But as you can see, I turned the little buttons of her shirt. Is that what that's called? Yeah, undershirt. Into sort of the placeholders for her head when it hovers around. And her little rosy cheeks are now bolts that are holding her mouth open. You know, maybe it can open like a slider hatch thing. Her eyes glow, and it's all nice. And her little eyebrows are like window wipers. You know, windshield wiper eyelashes. That's never been done. But I do like how the lighting on her, the metallic parts, the actual shiny metal parts came out. It doesn't look quite as shiny. Then again, I think if I had overdone it, it would have taken forever. You know what I mean? I'm going to paint this photorealistically. Say in 30 years. And down to her the below parts. I wanted to make it feel like she was like a rubberized robot. You know what I mean? Like all these parts could flex as well as extend. What do you call those? The little rubber toe toys. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm from the 90s. That's like last century for you. That is last century. What am I talking about? That's like, I'm old, okay? Don't judge me. But I want to give this sense that she could flex her thigh and her calf, and all the glowy parts are inside there. And her grundle is her grundle is private, and we shall not mention it. In fact, I shouldn't have mentioned it. And she's coming off the side of the neon sign, which, by the way, says hello there in the background. That didn't come out very visibly because of the characters. She's just like sliding down it like, what's her name? From Gargoyles. Hyena. Like Hyena from Gargoyles. That was the kind of the inspiration for that, now I think about it. You all there know what I'm talking about? And it's like, gargoyles? What? There are no hyenas in New York. No! It was a TV show from Disney, if you don't know what that was. I know a lot of you out there are watching this are really young, so I don't know what you know. But I know what I don't know, and that's important. So going on to Vaggie, I always feel sorry for Vaggie because she seems to get snubbed by the fan base. Have you noticed that? All the Alastor stuff? Oh my god, I just had this vision of her crying, reading that hashtag obsessively, like Justin Timberlake. And though there's a dated reference, I made myself sad. Like, just envisioning her just crying and reading the Alastor hashtag and crying. I wanted to draw that, but it's too sad, I think. So I made her much more badass. I tried to make her most badass one. I mean, look at this. I really am happy with the design I came up with there. Just this sort of, yeah, I'm a cool bitch. And you got this bullet-shaped head, her hair making this wonderful, wonderful shape that I really, really like. Just sort of coming down or around like, what's his name? Frank R. Paul drawing, that sort of thing. The nice, sleek, singular shape. And her exposed spinal cord, right? Because I thought about making it all floaty, but then I thought, I want to try something else, and I did this sort of species-esque spinal column right there. I almost said spinel column. It's not a spinel column, although maybe we could call it a spinel column, just for the sake of my stutter. Little bone parts right there. Little wishbones, people who eat her. Don't talk about people eating Vaggie. Do not do that. Do not do that. No, bad brain. Do not think these things. Let me turn my phone the other way, because I'm looking at this on my phone now, because I used to look at it on the imager and I couldn't zoom in. Now I can. So the Vaggie design, she is very badass. I like the perspective I gave her on the feet. I don't know if the background quite matches that, but live and learn, as it were. And I like the green in there, because there isn't a lot of green in HAZBIN Hotel by Vivzi's own admission. No, admission, not emission, you dim... Don't go there. Please, we're going a lot of places we shouldn't right now. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing. Oh, butterfly. No. Vaggie. Her little ribbon in the background. Not in the background, it's on her. There we are. I'm losing my brain. Coffee, cool off so I can have you. Jesus, it's warming Indonesia right now, this coffee. Little bolts, all these little thematic tie-in is that every character that I drew here, all of them have the same little bolt design on them. Alastor. Let's move on to Alastor before I finish that thought, because I'm not going to anyway. I made him a sort of a neon dude, and I drew his face, and it just started staring at me, and staring at me, and staring at me, and I got kind of frightened of it. And he knows who I am, where I am, and what I'm doing right now, and please don't judge me, Alastor, please, I know I'm not Vivian Madrano, please don't judge me for drawing you, please. This is already going on for 9 minutes. What am I thinking? I know. No, I will not attempt to do your voice right now. I will not, although I will. How lonely? No. I can't. That was a long pause for me to try to fail like that hard. Anyway, I made all the yellow parts glowy. I like the idea of making the pinstripes on Alastor's suit yellow. You know, so that and make them glow when he gets mad, and that way you have this sort of I don't know what you call that. Sort of existential fear thing going on. You can tell that something is coming out of him and into the world. He's exuding He is emitting. He is emissioning right now. And sorry, I'm at a loss for words because lack of coffee. His little antlers coming out the top. Yeah, they'll talk about that. Trying to zoom in here. The phone's not really doing it. God damn it. Make his little antlers on top of there be his antennae. Because his antlers are his antenna. Do not tell me they're not. They are. He puts tinfoil on them. He gets better reception. That's how that works. That's how he communicates with people. If you cut off his antlers, which is something that I think he would annihilate the universe for, but if you cut off his antlers, it would be a bit like Batty from Fern Gully. You just whack his head and you start going into different shows and stuff like that. I just thought of a new animation project. Oh my. So I'm really happy with Alastor making this sort of radio-based, like his speaker. His mouth is his speaker, as you can see. I mean, that's just how that works. That's how that works. He can't actually open his mouth. He can't. Well, the real Alastor can't. Well, the real fictional Alastor, because Alastor's not a real person. And watch someone send me a photograph of a headstone from New Orleans where it says Alastor Horatio Dunwoody, whatever his full name is. And say, yes, he's a real person. Don't tell me he's not. Quit crushing my dreams. And moving on to Husk here, who I think might be the most frightening of all of them. It's very Five Nights at Freddy's-esque, and I gave his wings these sort of floaty ball things because I don't know what I was thinking. The blue, the added blue, I like the added blue. It gives a little Vegas touch, you know what I mean? Like little marbles right here, all shiny. Makes you think of the great big water fountain outside the Rio Hotel, and none of you know what I'm talking about because most of you have probably never been to Vegas. You know what I'm talking about? You know the famous fountain that shoots the ball, that bounces the ball in the water. You know what I mean? As it spins around, that thing. Is that in Vegas? I don't know. Sort of giving this sort of sagginess, like maybe he's a Gary Tilliam-esque pulsating. I'm weirding myself out doing that. Like all of his bits are fluid on the inside. It's all flexible. I have this mental vision in my head that I'm not going to share because YouTube. But I think you get what I mean. Make his little hat like this. I wanted to make it like a little cop light on top of his head for his top hat. And I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. He's not a cop. Does hell even have police? Someone needs to make that. I need to make that. The police force of hell. Yeah, we haven't had a job in 30 years. And now moving on to Angel Dust. I am really, really happy with the Angel Dust one. He's not quite as glowy as it would have because I tried the pink glowy and it blended too much into the background, didn't show anything. So I just made a matte finish this because he's white. All of his outside, so that means you can shine any light you want on him and his skin will take on that color. So I thought, oh, he's a stripper, that would work. Drawing his extra arms on there. I only drew 4 arms because, well, he can make his arms manifest and then reappear and then disappear and all that stuff. You can throw them at people. You know, you can rip off an arm and throw it at people. You can rip off another arm and throw them at people. Like Arm Fall Off Boy, which is real character, I shit you not. But, I'm sorry, I'm looking at how did I not notice until now that Angel's face looks a bit like Donkey Kong, the way I drew it. It looks like Donkey Kong. Ooh, HAZBIN video games. No, stay on task. Stay on task. The glowy tooth, I knocked my phone off. I almost hit my coffee, excuse me. The cat's right there. Jim, get down. This is all going chaotically as it probably does for me, typically. When we're talking about it, always goes chaotically for me. Little cat here. No, that's not your coffee. Leave that alone. So yeah, the shading. I'm referencing Aqua Taylor Force right now. There are 15 minutes of me rambling on about bullshit. You're right, Jim. Let me wrap this up by going on to Niffty right here. Little Niffty bot, make her like a little Roomba. Little teeth going around it like a 50s spaceship. And got little spider legs coming out. Because that's what Niffty is. She's a Roomba. She's a very complicated Roomba. The Roomba demon. Ra 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 Roomba da da dun dun da 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 da. I'm not gonna desecrate that song anymore. And then you have the billboard, which is for some news program, with starring some absolute raging bitch. I don't know if it's popular or not. And I don't know if you notice, if you look in the drawing, you will see little Easter eggs in the upper right-hand corner. Yes, in silhouette. I will not point them out here, but I will say they are familiar faces to people who grew up in my generation. It's Waldo. Okay, I drew Waldo into the background in silhouette. Also, some serpent dude. I don't know his name. Also, Gigi in the corner. I love it. I love it so much. Look at the Gigi. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think I did such a very good job. Hello, Gigi. Hello. You're an 11-foot tall werewolf southern girl who'd probably kick my ass in 5 seconds just because she could. Yes, you are. But who's a cootie? Who's a cootie? I love the way I did your fur with the spackle tool. Oh yes, I need to stop being afraid of the automatic tools, because if you start doing like Vipsy Pop style spacklings and stuff like that by hand, just one dot at a time, you'll go into the nut house is what will happen there. But I like the dimensionality I got in the eyes and the red eyes, and she's so beautiful. And I made her nose more like a dog's nose, give it a little wet shine to it. Yes. Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl? You're such a good, very good girl. Yes, you are. Oh, I love this jar. Actually, I really like how this came out in the banister down there. It says XX Dust right there, just advertising Angel Dust, and you got the news thing on the side that's glowing like a billboard in the background, which is on fire, and the Batman style blimps and everything. I really like how this came out overall. I am working on new animations. Now this thing is done, I should have time to do actual animation work and drawing on my own characters. I'm not out of breath. What are you talking about? Just sitting, talking? Why would I be out of breath like that? I'm not. What kind of out of shape do you think I am? I'm like Dom DeLuise in a paint shaker right now. I made myself laugh for realsies big time. Itchy introvert from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Just strap him into a paint shaker. I'm a sadistic bastard. Then again, looking at this entire composition, I kind of would have to be. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see from me. In terms of art, would you like to see me do a live stream where I draw characters you suggest again? Because I would like to do that. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. Thank you all so much for hanging tight during this very lean and very busy month. Thank you for all the well wishes on Instagram for my chemical burns. They are getting better. Yes, I spilled chlorine bleach combination onto my foot. It's like, well, there's not skin there anymore. But it is better. Thank you so very much. You all have a very nice night. I'm going to end this. I'm trying to end this desperately before it hits 20 minutes. Thank you so much, also very much for supporting me. My Twitter is @AnimeFreak411 because you can't change your Twitter once you have it. Thank you so very much, and you have a very, very nice night. And I'm gonna go have my coffee and I'm gonna save my coffee for my cat. Kitty, no, I'll burn your tongue. You all have a very nice night. And I'm gonna end this video on 1940 actually. Appropriate. You all have a very nice night.